Just when you thought it was safe. Oh wait, it is safe. The Meg, the 2018 shark film that is based off the novel Meg by Steve Alten, which I read 12 years ago and have been waiting said time for a movie adaptation. Was it worth the wait? Let us find out. The plot. 5 years prior, Jonas Taylor swore off being a part of rescue diving after seeing something attack a part of a sub that defies common reality. Leads him to have to abandon two of his best friends in order to save more lives. He now lives in quiet solitude after a dishonorable discharge and divorce. While a research facility, the Mana One, are exploring the Mariana Trench and send out a submersible to emerge through a sort of fog-covered layer that was once the floor of said underwater vicinity. Headed by Jonas's ex-wife, Lori, and the two other crew members, they make their way through. Once in, they are immediately attacked by an unseen force. Now, stuck down in the bowels of the sea, the crew of the Mana One must call in for help. Jonas Taylor is back and ready to prove he's not crazy and has a major set of balls because what awaits them in the trench isn't some overgrown guppy. If you're a die-hard fan of the book series and are not able to accept changes within the story and characters, then you're going to be majorly disappointed. If you're a die-hard fan of the book series and can accept changes with the story and characters, then you'll probably have a fun time. The Meg is a cheesy monster movie and it knows this. However, it continues to balance a thin line between good and bad, but can't quite make it to the so bad it's good quota. It is not as intellectual or intricate as the books are, but it sure knows how to spell things out in a simple way for the audience. In fact, there are a lot of differences between the book and film, so I'll have to make a separate paper versus picture episode for sure. Back to the movie though. Tons of elements could have hurt this film, such as characters, the PG-13 rating, effects, music, and the public's general opinion of shark movies. Jason Statham, I feel, does a great job here. He has enough charisma to be having fun with the role. He doesn't take things super seriously. Sometimes, though, that can affect the gravity of the situation on its own. Instead of being taken heavily, the idea of a shark is taken in a grain of salt and the ocean blue kind of way, and the threat level diminishes quite a bit, understandably, yet unforgivingly. The characters seem to care more about their friends dying than there being a massive prehistoric predator out there. Not to sound insensitive, but if they didn't start focusing on the presence of the shark, then more people would die. Guess what? More people did. They were able to track the shark throughout the movie. However, the time it would have taken them to reach it would have been too late, and the megalodon became beachside. What I'm trying to say is the shark could have felt more like a threat instead of an action set piece. He is the star of the show, though, so I get it. Well, next to Jason Statham. The rest of the cast do commendable jobs as well. Heller, played by Robert Taylor from Rogue, Mac, played by Cliff Curtis from Deep Rising, and Lori, played by Jessica McName. It kind of just felt like filler characters at times. However, Jax, played by Ruby Rose, Morris, played by Rainn Wilson, Su Yen, played by Bingbing Li, and especially Mei Ying, played by Suya Sophie Kai, all had a presence. The only one I couldn't really care for was DJ, played by Paige Kennedy, because he was not funny in the slightest. Zahn, played by Winston Chow, I felt was totally wasted. Not, like, drunk, but just his character. He should have been more important and crucial to the story, and not just ending up being a motivation to move the plot forward. Safe is the best word to describe this movie. It's a well-known fact that Eli Roth was signed on to direct before John Turteltaub, director of the National Treasure movies, which I've never seen, was brought on board instead. We could have had a balls-out shark movie. Instead, much like The Shallows and 47 Meters Down, which I love both of those movies, still, the film got shafted to a PG-13 flick. The gore, the effects, it's a tad gorier than I was expecting. We get tons of red water, most of the time, and a severed hand. The ways the feastings are handled are in gory enough fashion, so it isn't a dry movie. Well, feastings on other creatures, not on people, of course. Visually, the film is amazing. The trench looks great. I did think the thermal vents could have used a bit of work, however, everything else is solid. With the $130 million to $150 million budget, The Meg is the most expensive shark movie made so far. The titular shark looks amazing. We don't know what a real megalodon would look like, so it felt this worked as good as any design could have. I was a bit bummed she didn't glow like in the book. They did have her glow originally, but the CG enhancement only made her look less authentic. The motion picture soundtrack, Harry Gregson Williams has worked on a ton of children movies. Much like his composing on the film Shrek, he incorporates a lot of appropriate themes. Shrek had a folk song style to its music. The Meg has a Chinese influence for sure. A flute is used here and there. It isn't too much, but I felt if it had expanded on the Chinese foundation, it would have came across as overbearing. This is an American-Chinese co-production, and in that, of course, there will be some influence from both regions. Besides my tiny rantings, I didn't hate this movie at all. Why would I? It's a lot of fun and a great summer blockbuster. While it is a safe movie, I think it did enough to satisfy fans of shark movies. As for the diehard fans of the book series, this movie may not satisfy. It's dumb fun, and no one should have been expecting anything more based on the trailers. Overall, I give The Meg a 3.5 out of 5. Lion Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Entertainment. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below, leave comments, and subscribe.